The Absolute Idiots Podcast.
Hi, I'm James.
No, it's not. And I'm Arman.
And we are
Why did you start like that?
the
Absolute
Idiots. I don't know what
Idiots.
you're talking about, James. Welcome back, everybody.
Okay.
Episode 39.
Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome, Whack. welcome, Whack.
We hope you're doing well on this fine
Evening.
January evening. I forgot what month it was. I thought it was August.
Dude, I still think it's like the first week of January. I can't process
For the
it
first
fully.
week of January, I didn't realize it was 2021. It just didn't process in my mind.
I
That,
still
it was a
don't.
new
The other
year.
day, because at work we have to fill out these papers whenever we need to get money from another cash register, and you have to put the date on it. And my boss came to me the other day, and she was like, "Hey, you put 2020 on both of these." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "It's not 2020." I was like, "Oh, sucking shit." So yeah. So
Whoops.
whoopsie. Speaking of writing down things. James, what's today's topic? Would you like to reveal the topic to our fans?
Oh yeah. So
And lovers? Just fans. Just kidding.
no. Too spicy for that. But to our fans, we would like to reveal. So I think most of our audience is probably still getting an education. And
Or has
to
had
get
an education at some point. Shout out
Or
to my
has
mom.
had
My
an
mom
education
already
at
finished
some
her education. She's watching.
Of course.
listening, Whatever.
And to obtain an education, you need to get prepared for it. And so that's why our topic today is school supplies.
You made it sound like it was gonna be AJ Tutoring, sponsored by AJ Tutoring. I was like, it's gonna be studying. I was like, did I?
No
We had this planned
tutoring.
out so long in advance. I
No.
was so excited for it.
I've actually never had a tutor before, so I wouldn't have much to talk about for
Really?
that.
Yeah. Well, good thing today's episode is not sponsored by AJ Tutoring.
Yeah.
School
Awesome.
supplies, though. Were you? I don't know if this was just me, but I remember in 4th grade to 5th grade, very much school stationery was a big thing.
Stationery, isn't that just paper?
No, stationery is supply, basically school supplies, but they're it's a higher end schools. Were shaky pencils a thing for you?
Shaky pencils.
Really? Wow. Okay. So
what-
this
What
was
does that
not
mean?
this is not a school wide thing. So
Well, maybe, but I just don't know what shaky
maybe
pencils
James
are.
just didn't have a social life in elementary school. He talks about how exciting his
Maybe,
elementary
maybe.
school life was, but he didn't even have shaky pencils. I can't believe it. No, in again 4th grade to 5th grade, maybe even 6th grade a little bit. There was social classes depending on what kind of stationery you had. So, and there was one very specific type of
Oh
pencil
my god.
that was referred to as a shaky, because when you shook it, it made a rattling noise. And basically when you
Wow.
shook it, the concept was that the lead, it was a mechanical pencil. The lead would come out as you shook it. And those were and they had gel grips, and they were very precise, and they had the clips on them. But yeah, those were very big. I remember shaky was it sounds so stupid saying it out, but this is shakies were such a if you had one, you were boom, immediately you had friends. People wanted to borrow your shaky. It sounds like a drug thing. It's not a drug thing, I promise.
Wow. I'm looking it up, and I think I've seen one of these once or twice. They were
Really?
definitely not a big thing
Wow.
ever.
it was a
Yeah.
big thing in elementary school. And people
That's
would go to
super
like
interesting.
the the like the really cute like Japanese hobby shops and like Daiso or
Hmm.
like I don't know the names of any of the other ones because I'm racist, but like people would go and they'd get like little packets of lead, and you'd have like the little. Are you a mechanical pencil person or a traditional pencil person?
Oh, I'll get to that in a second.
Oh wow, okay. But yeah, people would get like the little mechanical lead canisters, and like depending on how the door, like not the door, but like the lid of it opened, like there was also like a little bit of clout behind that and stuff, and yeah, it was. I mean, I mean, just on its own, like those mechanical pencils were like a big thing, and I remember, uh, I never had a ton of mechanical pencils as a kid because like I didn't know about it until like very late, and then I was like, Dad, I want mechanical pencils, and he was like, oh yeah, sure, and I was like, hell yeah, and he's like, I have some, and I was like, oh no, um,
Wow.
but actually he gave me two, not shakies, they weren't shakies, but they were actually I liked them a
Uh,
lot more than shakies. They were two like pencils he'd gotten from like Germany at some point. And one of them I still use to this day. It's my like preferred drawing pencil. I love it so much that it's like my
really?
preferred
Dang.
drawing pencil. The other one was also very nice, but the end that the lead comes out, it was like very thin. It was like almost like a syringe esque, but it was like bent to the side. So every time like you brought pumped lead out. This just sounds all bad. This sounds like I'm like it sounds like terms for like a mafia gang. Pumped lead, needles, shakies.
I mean,
Um, every time you tried to
hmm.
like push the lead out, it would like break because the tip was bent. So it would bend the lead and break it.
Oh,
So it didn't really work. But it was really nice and really sturdy. And but I never like got any shakies. I think I would find them like on the ground or like in a desk or something and be like hell yeah, but I didn't like prefer them over any specific pencil.
wow. Yeah. No, yeah, and well, now that I'm thinking about it a little more, I think I've I've seen a bunch of these, but like again, these were just
Okay,
like not
yeah,
important in my mind. Like
interesting.
they were just another type of like lead pencil in my mind. I
Hmm.
just kind of like grouped lead pencils under the same thing, and so this was just another type of lead pencil. But I like social classes because of these. That's kind of crazy, you
And
know.
that's I mean that's social club, but it was
I
like very much like everyone knew that like Toby had uh
oh yeah,
four
sure.
shakies and
But yeah,
people
like
yeah like all her friends got to borrow
what
them and stuff like elementary school social
what
classes,
kind
you
of
know.
what kind of pencils you had didn't really, that wasn't really the big thing, you know? Big
Nice.
things were like, like silly bands or whatever. Um, but yeah, so yeah, back in elementary school, the regular pencils versus lead pencil debate, big hot topic, okay?
Really?
Big,
Oh wow.
like very important divide between a lot of different people. Now, I was and still to this day am a
Drum roll, drum
regular
roll, drum
pencil
roll.
guy.
Oh, well, never mind.
Oh,
Not a drum roll.
sorry.
I need the drum roll.
Whoa!
Dude,
It's
drum
still a
roll.
little too late.
It's okay.
Sorry.
So you're a regular.
But yeah,
I kind of covered it up, but yeah.
yeah, so I think I was actually in the very much the minority in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
Most people around me, they definitely preferred lead pencils, and I understand why. Lead pencils, you don't have to like sharpen it all the time, and it's
Yeah.
like the end is like perfectly sharp all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of advantages to lead pencils, I understand, but I was just always way too lazy to like get lead and like put the lead into the
Mm-hmm.
mechanical pencil, and sometimes it just like you accidentally fumble and it goes everywhere. I didn't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
With a regular pencil, you buy it, sometimes you sharpen it and you write with it. That's all you need to do. So yeah, that's why I always was a regular pencil guy. And
Mm-hmm.
and
And that hasn't changed.
like I said, most No, that hasn't changed. But most other people were mechanical pencil people, and
Yeah.
now I think back on it, I'm like, oh, obviously it didn't matter so much, and no one cares now. But
Yeah.
well, at least I don't think people care now. But there's some people out
Somebody's
there.
gonna email you after listening to this and be like, "You motherfucker, you're still using those regular pencils."
But yeah,
You
in elementary
stubborn.
school, it was like a big deal because like
Mhm.
if you had like a mechanical pencil, like I wouldn't say that like you were like in an exclusive club or anything, but like obviously the mechanical pencil people would ask the other mechanical pencil people for lead and stuff
Mm.
like that,
Yeah.
which led to like, they were a little bit more in with each other. But this was a very like slight thing. I
Yeah.
don't think it was a big thing at all. But yeah, you had mechanical pencils, you had lead, you talked to other people who had lead. That's how Wall Street works. So yeah, sorry to get controversial on this podcast. Anyways, moving on.
That's really interesting. I kind of feel like I don't think there was a divide, but I think that like generally everyone considered like mechanical pencils like superior. Uh,
Mhm.
and I personally nowadays I really like them because I'm a doodler and I like having the
Mhm.
consistent line length. Uh, but I like
Mhm.
if I'm writing something, I have traditional pencils on my desk and I'll use those. Like I mean, I'm not I'm not yeah, it's not a big deal. I'm not gonna like die if somebody gives me a traditional pencil. It's gonna work. It's
Right,
gonna
right.
work fine. But for drawing especially, I definitely prefer mechanical pencils. Um,
Right.
while we were talking about this, do
Hey,
you remember? Did you ever have the third type of pencil?
what does that mean?
I'm not sure what to
A
call it.
pen?
No.
There were some pen people
Big
too,
reveal
and they were
pens.
crazy. Just saying.
No, it was that it was basically it almost looked like a pen, but
Okay.
it was a pencil and it would have different tips that you could put on. And the tip was basically just like the tip of a regular pencil in like a plastic bit. And then when it ran out, you would go ahead, push it into the bottom end of the tube and another one would pop out. So you had like a limited number of like
What?
if I find an image, I'll pop it up on screen. I'll look it up right now. But yeah, this was like I mean, not many people used it because it was so bad. But oh my god, I'm gonna try and find it right now, really
Wait. So
quickly.
like you would replace the tip of wait.
Oh, I
You
found
would
it immediately. I'll put an image up on screen, but I'll send this to you right now. Uh,
okay.
oh, it's called
What is it
stacking
called?
point pencils. Okay. Um,
Stacking point pencil.
I think it
What
is.
is that? Oh, I've seen this. Oh, those were so awful.
Yeah,
I
they were not
hated
good.
these.
I had many of those as a child. Every time I
Oh
used
my
them, I
god.
literally ran out of them. So like, I would. They were so bad, and they never stayed in. They would always just fall out somehow, whether it was out through the bottom or out through the top. It was just like it was awful. I hated those. I don't think anyone. I
No,
think those
yeah,
were
no
probably
one.
like of all clout levels, those were even worse than regular pencils. 'Cause it's like,
Oh,
what are you
I
doing?
agree. These were so awful. I don't know whoever invented these, but I hope they're out of a job now because these were just
I,
terrible.
I think they quickly became like not uh like replaced by mechanical pencils like very quickly.
Hmm.
Like I'm pretty sure like because I don't think mechanical pencils were a thing like when I was in preschool. Like I think they came
Hmm.
out around like second or third grade for me. Like I don't think they were like an
Uh,
always thing for me.
I don't remember specifically because I don't like. I can't remember. Yeah,
Pencils.
I can't think that far back. I guess so. I don't remember, but maybe.
I
Um.
just like they're not like a thing. Oh, the first spring-loaded mechanical pencil was patented. Wait, no, there's no way because my father gave me mechanical pencils that he had from
Oh yeah,
like when he was
yeah.
younger. There's no way. Okay, never mind. Maybe they just didn't want to
No,
give it to us because we would like stab our eyes out with them more than usual.
maybe. You know. pencils are pretty dangerous. There was one time, a friend of mine, like me and my friends were like playing around, and like he stabbed me with the pencil, like through my
Ooh,
clothing, and I still have like a scar of it to this day on my chest. It's kind of
really?
crazy.
One
Yeah.
time I was like very
Um,
angry when I was a child, and I accidentally stabbed my hand with a pretzel. Pretzel? Pencil.
pretzel.
And for a long time, you could see like the little bit of lead that actually you can. No, you can't see it. But you like there used to be a long time that you could see like the little bit of lead that was in my skin.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've known quite a few people like that where they just like accidentally stab lead into their hand and it's just like
Yeah.
there for a while.
Um.
Um, but still on the topic of elementary school,
mhm.
did you have those like laundry lists of supplies that they gave you every year to like get?
Yes.
I remember those were like super like they were very fun actually. It was like a
I
little
agree.
scavenger hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like before the year started, like a week before the school year started, me and my mom we would go out to like Staples or whatever, and
Yeah.
we'd find all the items on the list, buy them all. And then throughout the school year, I'd learned that like half of them we didn't use ever, so it
Nope.
was like okay, whatever. But
After like
but yeah,
second
year
grade, I
after
think
year.
we just like started
Hmm.
reusing like scissors. Like I was like, we don't need more scissors.
Yeah.
Uh.
Yeah. Like I remember glue sticks especially. They asked us to buy so many glue sticks. And we just didn't use that many glue sticks. So I just have like a bunch of glue sticks lying around the house from elementary school now.
I
Um,
I have a bunch of glue sticks lying around the house too. Just like
we can we can start a little glue stick club.
we can make a house of glue sticks. I bet that's a thing. I bet somebody makes. I bet somebody like exclusively makes glue stick sculptures. I would not be surprised.
Makes sense. I mean,
Um, did you
it would
ever
work, I think.
ever have anybody in your class who like ate glue, like for real, like not just like haha meme, but like they would.
Um, I don't remember eating glue specifically, but do you remember that thing where like you'd pour glue all over your hand and then
Mm-hmm.
like wait for it to
Yeah.
dry and then peel it off? I remember seeing somebody do that and I was like, ugh, what the heck? That's the grossest thing I've ever seen. And then they were like, you should try it. It feels really good. And then one day I tried it. I was like, what? This feels so strange, but also surprisingly good.
Yeah, it's very
Um,
odd. It's like weird, like face mask for your hands, but like definitely
yeah,
not good
yeah,
for you.
yeah. I think I only ever did it once, but it was a very interesting experience to be sure.
I've definitely.
Um,
I don't think I've ever done it like on purpose, but like definitely like if like I was doing a crazy project in class with some glue
right.
afterwards, I'd be like, oh hell yeah. Um, but I don't think I like I knew people. Oh, this is really gross now that I think about it. There was one girl in my class who like really liked to do that, and she would try and see
Wait,
like
eat glue or
no
put
no
it
no no,
on
no. Do
their
the
hand?
glue on the hand.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
she would try to see like how big of a piece altogether she could pull off of her hand, and she would like save it in her desk like she had it.
Oh no.
And I was like, at the time I was like, whoa,
Oh.
crazy, and even now I'm like, that's just kind of weird and gross.
Yeah. Yikes. Um. Yikes.
Somebody could have stolen
Uh.
her handprint.
Oh. Oh, you know what I really miss from
Stealing
elementary school?
handprints.
No. The fact that like we had desks that we could put stuff inside of, and we
That's
didn't need to
true.
bring our backpacks into the
Hmm.
classroom. Like
Yeah.
we would have these like racks outside the classroom that would just leave our backpack on,
Oh
and then
yeah.
we came inside and we had this desk that we had everything we needed. But you can't do that in middle and high school. You change classrooms all the time. You can't have the
I
same
mean, high
desk,
school
which
you
is a
have
real
the
shame.
locker which you can use, but
Yeah, I don't think I've ever used a locker though. This is like
really they
I
didn't
don't
make
know.
you use lockers in middle school?
No. Well, in no. Well, the simple answer is no. In sixth grade, we had lockers, and like I kept one or two things in there that I never used, and at the end of the school year, we had to like get all the stuff out of our lockers, right? And
Yeah.
I just never used my locker, so I forgot my combination. But luckily they had a procedure for that. They'd take a bolt cutter or lock cutter, and they just like cut your lock off.
They didn't have your
And you could,
combination written down for you somewhere?
no. I just completely forgot it because I never used my locker. So they
That's
just like
crazy.
cut the
At,
lock.
for me in middle school, you had to like you weren't allowed to bring your backpack into class. Like
Really?
you had to leave it in the locker. Um,
Wow.
and they like issued you locks that you had to give back at the end of the year and stuff, which is why they knew like your combination. So if you forgot it, you could just go to the office.
Well, like for PE in like 10th or 11th grade, they had the same system. They gave us or they gave us locks. Yeah.
But yeah, no,
So
you
I had the
weren't
same
allowed
system
to bring
there,
your backpack into class. So I remember one day I was like
That's
very
crazy.
late. So I just like left my backpack like outside the door of the classroom because I knew I wasn't allowed to bring it in there. Yeah, but even like leaving your backpack outside of the door of the classroom like sometimes was like really not okay because like if like a what do you call them, like a hall monitor or whatever came by and saw it, they would just like take it and take it to the office. So like luckily it didn't happen to me, but like I knew people who like would do that instead of using their locker and they got in big trouble, which was sad.
Yikes.
I kind
Yeah.
of liked lockers, but I also like I'm glad we didn't have to use them in high school, I guess.
I don't know, like a single person. Well, okay. So, backing up a little bit,
Yeah.
sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. No, sorry, seventh, eighth, and ninth grade. I went to the same school, and we didn't have lockers because we were like a smallish charter school.
Mhm.
But we had this like cubby system, and I remember like trying out the cubbies like once, but then I was like, "What is this? Are we in like kindergarten again? Like I don't need cubbies, you know?" Um, and after I came to gun,
Mhm.
I think we had lockers, but I don't remember a single person. Wait, well, I don't even know if I'm like, so, okay. I've seen lockers around campus, but I
Yeah.
don't know if those are like for us or
No,
like,
so
or
the way
what
those
they're
lockers
for.
work is that you can choose to use them, but you have to bring like your own lock. Like there's no system by the school. It's just like if you want to use a locker,
Oh,
you got to bring
okay.
your own lock and put your stuff in there.
So it's
But
like a
also
free
the
for all
lockers were like
thing.
so far away from every single classroom on campus that it
Yeah.
was like not worth it.
Yeah.
Like there was no reason to put anything in there unless it was like I don't know, your giant turkey you brought for lunch or something. Like, I don't know.
Sure. I
I
think
was trying to think of
that's
something that you would only need to access like once during lunch. And that would be, you know, a giant turkey,
a giant
obviously.
turkey. Yeah, of course.
It's the only
I remember
possible
the
thing.
theater had I remember the theater had a cubby system, which made a little more sense because the theater is kind of an more enclosed community,
Hmm.
less people, so you don't have like things going in and out of them all the
Yeah.
time. But like,
And also, there
I
were a
feel
lot of
like,
things that you needed, like,
um,
specifically for theater.
yeah, like dress shoes or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but I feel like the cubby system, I remember, like, I never used it myself, but it just felt like so disorganized to me. Like, the cubbies, like, half the time, well, like, they had, like, labels, right, for
Yeah, for
whoever
whoever
owned
it
them.
was.
But half of them, I just remember, like, didn't have labels, and, like, people would just, like, randomly use them. Um, and I remember like uh, my junior year, I think. I
Hmm.
just remember for a while, like nobody bothered to change the labels, so it's just like still a bunch of like people
Yeah.
that never that didn't go to the school anymore.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I mean, it was a community system. Obviously, it didn't really
Yeah.
need the most upkeep in the world, as long as it worked, it fine. But
I think like
yeah, I
a
just remember.
cubby clean out. Like so at work there are lockers as well. And it almost works basically the
Mhm.
same way as cubbies, except you should bring your own lock in case you want that. Um, but like yeah, you just like claim it if there's an open one, you write your name on the label and then you put your stuff in there. But they have clean outs. So every now and then they'll be like, okay, everybody clean all your stuff out if you've got anything in there. Uh, and we're gonna if anybody's not using their locker, we're gonna just like clip the locks off, and then you can just claim a locker
Wow.
that day, February 4th, any empty
Hmm.
locker. which I think is smart because it keeps people who
Yeah.
want to use the locker, like they're already using it. They're probably gonna be wary of that, and people who aren't using their
Mhm.
locker, they'll just like end them.
They're gone, never to be
um,
seen again.
well, some of the lockers belong to like employees who like haven't worked there for like years, so it's like, or not years, but like for a long time. So
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, you need to give Arman a locker. They didn't say
Right,
that. I
right,
said
right.
that, but yeah, no.
Of course.
Um,
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good system.
yeah, I think that
Oh,
would have been maybe made it better, but yeah, I mean, I liked the system of cubbies, but I do agree going all the way back. I did really like the desks with the little holes in them that you could put stuff in.
yeah, yeah.
That was just fucking
Um,
awesome.
Speaking of cleaning out, I remember, I don't remember if it was twice a year or once a year, but like at some point at the end of the year, for those like little desks, we'd have just like a cleanup day where we'd clean up the whole classroom,
Oh
but
yeah.
also like clean our little desks. And I remember I took this job very seriously, right? You know, um, I like I took I remember like I have very like fond and oddly or sorry I have very vivid and oddly fond memories of just like cleaning out my desk. Like I remember it was very satisfying to just take out the stuff that I had in there all year and like see it empty. I was like, wow, now it's an empty desk. It hasn't been this way in a whole year. And I just like I take the like baby wipes or whatever or the wet wipes, clean up my whole desk, bottom to top, and clean my chair too. Help clean up the classroom. It was a very very tranquil experience. I deeply enjoyed it. I
I
deeply enjoyed it.
definitely had the same experience, but that was just so funny to hear someone else describing it other than me.
That's awesome to hear. We can start a little club.
We can start a little desk cleaning club. We'll go around. We'll
Oh
clean your desk
yeah.
for you if you need it in elementary school. Yeah, just pay us in like your school lunch or whatever. We'll take those
Mhm.
those slices of
Um.
pizza made on cardboard. We want those.
Oh yeah. We love school
Shout
lunch,
out to our
but that's
school
a
lunch
that's a
episode.
different. Yeah, of course. That's an oldie now, isn't it? Old
Yeah.
classic.
Oh, little I can't think of the word. Little whatever. Fuck,
Retro
fuck that.
vintage.
um,
Okay. um, but yeah, after elementary school, we didn't have to clean the desks anymore, so no more of that experience, I guess. Uh,
I remember in sixth grade, I think we had desks with like little cubby systems in them, but like you weren't allowed to
really?
keep things in there. Like that was because other
Oh.
people would share it with you, so it was like we don't want to do that. Um, but
Mhm.
sometimes you would find like something in there, and it would be like, ooh, a little surprise.
A little.
Like sometimes it would be a bad
I
surprise, like a
think.
half-eaten bag of like something, but like sometimes it would be like a bag of pencils, and you'd be like, "Fuck yeah, pencils!"
Oh yeah, neat. Oh, I think
Um,
in some of my classes in high school, like I remember my junior year history class, we had desks like that, but they were like all turned inward, so you can use them.
oh yeah, after a
Um,
while they
but
did
I
that. I think
remember.
after sixth grade they definitely did that. I just remember in sixth grade because one teacher really hated us. She had
Mhm.
all the desks turned outwards, so we all
Got
had
it,
to sit
got it.
alone. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember. Yeah, I've had the same experience,
Shout out
not
to
in
Miss
sixth grade,
Ether.
but like in like 11th grade. Sometimes like they wouldn't be like turned in a way where they're fully inaccessible, and you'd look inside. You
Really? In
find
in high
I don't
school?
know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What
You'd find
class?
like a textbook or for history. I just said 11th grade history. Um,
Did I have those
Sometimes,
kind of
yeah, they were
things?
supposed to be turned inwards, I think, but sometimes they were just turned at an angle where you could access them. And um, actually, I think that classroom in particular, it was just weird. Like some of the chairs were like really small, like for elementary schoolers, and I don't know. I didn't know what was going on with that classroom, but some of the
What?
uh, some of the stuff in there was not like
What
for
was
high school
happening? Oh my
children. But
god.
anyways.
Um, are you a
Anyways.
fan of the desks that are like a chair and a desk combined?
No, no, definitely not. I really dislike those because, um, I am a guy that like really likes to
Man
breathe
spread.
is the wrong word, but just like I want to be able to have free movement with
Mm-hmm.
both my legs and like with my chair. And with those desks, if you move the chair, you're moving the whole desk, and
Yeah.
it's pointless, So you can't adjust to be like closer to the desk or like further away, depending on what your options are.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you want to like swing your legs right, you can't because there's a giant metal
Yeah, metal
bar
bar.
blocking the way. Um, and I feel like those sets just like I don't know, it just feels like problematic in general. Like I feel like it would just cause problems all the time. I'm not sure like what the advantage of those desks are, to be perfectly honest.
I think it's just
Um,
like an easier like cleanup slash like they don't want
mm,
students moving around as much probably, to
maybe
be very honest. Uh, I remember when I first started
interesting.
high school, I was like, I
I
fucking hate these things. And then at the end of high school, I
yeah.
was like, it's so weird to have chairs that I can move around in like away from a desk. Like what the heck? Um, but I didn't like them very much. I did find ways to like be comfortable in them, but especially as like someone with like larger thighs, it was like not a good experience. Like
Yeah. I mean, even for me, like I think I'm a small guy, and I still think it was rather restrictive.
yeah, no, it was
Um,
not the most ideal scenario for
mhm.
desk sitting.
Yeah, yeah. Highlighters. Are you a big highlighter guy?
No, I'm a big like underlining person. I highlighters usually
Mm,
bother me more than help. Are you a highlighter
really?
person?
I would not say I'm a big highlighter person, but I'd always, if I had a pencil case, I'd always keep a highlighter in my pencil case. I wouldn't use it very,
Mm-hmm.
very often, because like I'm not really okay. Between highlighter or underline, usually I'd underline because you can just do it with your pencil. You don't
Yeah,
need like a
exactly.
separate utensil for it. Um, but in general, like I like didn't really use either of those. Like I wasn't really a big like point out specific part person.
Mm.
Um, cause I don't know. I felt like it was never really needed for me. Like all the like reading passages we have, like the only time it would feel really necessary is if we were reading um for English. Like for history, you'd get like one sheet of paper and then
Yeah.
you read through it. And like I don't like it's just one sheet of paper. I don't need highlights to remember what
Mm.
the important points were. Sorry to flex people, but that's how it was. Um,
Yeah, that's
but
right,
for
James's history
English,
teachers get wrecked.
for English, half the time I'd either like the book wouldn't be mine, so I couldn't write in it, or the
Mm.
other half of the time it would be mine, but it's like so long that like highlights and like underlines just don't mean anything anymore.
I
Like you
see.
flip through every page, there's an underline on it, and you don't want to go through a whole book looking at every single underline you made throughout like 200 pages
It
or
seems
like
like you didn't
80
take the proper
pages.
highlighting and underlining lessons in English or history, whatever I took those in. Because we used to
Maybe.
have like class sessions where it would be like, learn how to highlight the correct things so that you don't over highlight or
Really?
under highlight. Um, and those were helpful. I didn't start using highlighters more, but I definitely started underlining
Hmm.
more. Uh, like in whenever we would read like a book for theater or English that like I owned, I would underline stuff and I would come back to
Hmm.
it like later when I flipped through it. I'd be like, oh, what is that? And then I'd have like a star and like I'll write something next to it and be like, this is this, and I'm like, oh shoot, good
Mm.
connection, old Armand. And old Armand will go, good job, new Armand. You've read my highlight
Awesome. Awesome.
underline. Um, even like with scripts though, I know people really like to like highlight their lines. I didn't like that. I really liked underlining. Uh, I was
Oh,
never
you know
really
what
a
I did
big
for scripts?
highlighting person.
For scripts, I would highlight my name, like the name of the character I was
Ooh,
playing.
that's smart.
Because I didn't like highlighting the whole line, but
Hmm.
you had to find it somehow. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think I would do the same thing. I also used brackets like on the side to be like, okay, this is my section,
Interesting.
and that was good.
I've never seen that before, actually. That's pretty smart, though.
It's basically the same thing as like
Um,
underlining or highlighting your name, except
mhm.
also you're going,
It's
all of this, get ready, is yours.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
No, yeah, that's smart. Because like if like you're like interrupted by a stage direction in the middle, sometimes you're like, "Whoops, my line is over," but it's not actually over. So,
mhm, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I like the concept of highlighters, and I kind of wish that I used them more because I like color coordination and stuff. I knew people who
hmm
like could color coordinate with their highlights, and I was like so jealous of that. But I
yeah,
never
yeah.
really like got into like highlighters as a tool. I was too unorganized to be able to be like, all right, like I don't think it's that much effort to be like, all right, time to pull out a highlighter and highlight this part and put it down. But I would always just like put it back in
hmm
my pencil bag and like lose it, or it would roll off my desk or something and everything. And I'm not an organized human being. I try so hard to be organized, and then like in like less than a week, it becomes the most unorganized thing in the world.
Yeah, yeah. I feel that. I also totally agree. People that can like highlight different things with different highlighters, like hats off to you guys. You guys are crazy. Very, very skilled people, you
Like
know.
I have a
Um,
friend who's really into like stationery as a whole,
mhm.
and her notes are like beautiful. I mean, she has pens for like different like topics, like different colored pens, and then like different
Wow.
highlighters and like stars and symbols that mean things. And it's like it's like it's all awe inspiring. Like it's just like what the heck, like how, like, and it all makes sense. It's not just like a confusing rainbow on the paper. Like it's not just like to look nice.
hmm
It really does mean like it looks nice as well, but it really does, like everything means something, and that's just like that's crazy to me. And she's been like that since like I met her in middle school. Um,
That's
it's
really
just like
cool.
wild that they have that system. That's just crazy.
Yeah, yeah. What um what would you usually keep in your pencil bag or pencil box when we were in person?
Oh my god. I always had a little mini pocket calculator that my aunt gave me a long time ago. I always
Really?
kept that.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though I had like a separate like whatever, one of those scientific calculators that he had to fucking spend a
hmm
bajillion dollars on. Um,
Oh yeah.
I definitely had at least like four broken pencils in there. I always had a regular pencil.
Nice.
At least I tried to have like two mechanical pencils and like a thing of lead, and then
hmm
a big eraser, another big eraser, but it was too dirty to erase with anymore. Uh,
Nice.
some random collection of like at least four pens and a highlighter, and that was, and maybe
Wow.
like a black marker and a sharpie, and that was it basically. Uh, but yeah, always very messy. There was always so much in there. I always put way more than I needed. And every time I took everything out, and I was like, okay, now I have 5 items. This is good. In like a week, again, it would be just like full of random bullshit. And I'd be like, why did I, why did I put these back in here? Or where did these come from? Who's putting things in my fucking pencil case? Fun fact
Um,
though, me and my friend from elementary school had the same pencil case all the way up. We still do,
wow.
but we had the same pencil case from third grade all the way up into high school. I still have it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, isn't that
That's
fun?
actually pretty cool. Um, I would say, obviously throughout my life, my pencil box, like the fleeting innocence of a young child, has gotten smaller. Like the contents of it has gotten like less and less as time goes on. Um, and
What?
by the end of like high school, I would say I only had like five main things in my pencil box. Um, I usually had two or three pencils.
Yeah.
I would have an eraser because my eraser tips would always like run out on my pencils. I'd have
Hmm.
an eraser. I would have a pen, and I would have a highlighter. And that's basically it. And sometimes I like, I lost pencils or like very, very rarely, like I'd use a pencil enough to where it was like, this is too short to use at this point.
That's fair.
And there was like a phase, don't be grossed out by this, but there's a phase where I was like, I'm too lazy to like buy new pencils or look for new pencils at home. I'm just gonna like, because there were always just like random pencils on the ground, right? And I was like, maybe one of these pencils was one that I lost, So I'd always just like take those pencils that I just found on the ground and I just started using them.
I definitely use
there's
pencils off the ground as well. Mostly mechanical pencils,
okay,
but
okay.
but that's not like a crazy concept. That's definitely like I've heard
Okay.
people doing that. Don't worry, you're not a gross man.
All right.
Not because of that. At least.
Of course. But yeah, for a while I just like used pencils I found off the ground. And it worked. It worked as a good system. Like I never needed to buy pencils or take pencils from home, so it was pretty good. I really wish like a lot of people have pencil bags, and I never had a pencil bag, and I'm really sad about that because all the stuff that I kept in my pencil case definitely could have fit in a bag. But the thing about a pencil case is like it's very rigid and form fitting. And so if I put it in my backpack, it'd always like take up this chunk of space. And you couldn't fit it very well. Because like most of the stuff you put in your backpack is like a large rectangular prism, right? Like a book or a binder or whatever. But this thing is like, it's like a small like 3-inch by 6-inch thing. It doesn't fit very well in a backpack. That's just
We
sad.
needed like instead of backpacks, we needed like back baskets with like square compartments and stuff. That would have been way better.
That would have been
I should be designing school supplies right now. I could make a better, what was it called, stackable pencil.
Oh yeah.
Like a way better stackable pencil.
Yeah, you can make a lot of money. It's very much in demand,
People are really looking for stackable pencils right now that work on the market. It's like a big thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be the next
Elon Musk.
Steve Jobs of stackable pencils. Speaking of calculators, I always kept
Steve Jobs, the calculator.
Steve Jobs, the man, the calculator,
the
legend,
calculator,
the human calculator. No, because you mentioned calculators earlier.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention this, but I got sidetracked. I always kept 2 calculators on me as well.
Really?
But it wasn't like one like pocket and like one regular. It was one scientific and one graphing. And people would always like. One? So the graphing one is the one that can graph? Like, have you ever? Wait.
Is that like the
like
TI
calculus,
whatever?
Right?
Yeah.
TI. Well, there's the TI Inspire. There's the TI 84. I think those are the main graphing calculators. But yeah, usually they were like bigger and bulkier and like had a keyboard.
I think the only one I had was a TI 84. Let me see.
But yeah, like I'd always have 2 calculators, and I'd always pull both of them out during math class. And it was nice for people that like sitting around me like, hey, does anybody have a calculator I could borrow? And I was like, yep, here you go. And I'd give them the calculator. But people would always ask me like, why do you have 2 calculators? And the thing was, so in 6th grade, right, on the whole school supply list I had, one of them was a scientific calculator. And when I bought it, it was like, what, $60 or something? I was like, this is crazy. $60 for a calculator? But it was a nice calculator. And I didn't actually use it much in 6th grade, which is sad. The whole thing about like school supplies, you don't use them very much. I didn't need to use my scientific calculator very much. But like through high school, actually, like many years after I bought the calculator started becoming very, very useful.
Yeah, because that was when
And
everybody was like, it's time to use these, and you were like, oh well, booyah.
yeah, yeah. Cause like there was like a billion different buttons on my scientific calculator, and I didn't know what any of them meant. But as I was going through high school math, I started learning what each of the buttons meant. I was like, whoa, this is what a log function means, or this is what like I don't know, like
Damn it, James, you've made this about math.
E means, or this is what yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because like when you first
Just
get those calculators, you usually have no idea what half the buttons on there do. Like I was like, why is
yeah,
there
yeah.
literally an entire keyboard on here? Like, and then it was all for like, I don't even remember, but it was useful. I remember that at least. Um, are you okay? Did you die about the fact that there were letters on a keyboard? Well, let me just say this. I'm going to tell a story while James is peeing. Um, basically, one day, there were so many letters on the keyboard, and I just like started like typing out like a full like sentences. Because these were like I was borrowing like the school like TI Inspire or whatever, one of the very fancy ones that you had to borrow from the class. So I wrote it like a full like message, and it was like, "Be warned, this calculator is not for use. Like, you will be cursed if you use this calculator." And then I put it back, and then I saw someone else go over and try to pick up that calculator, and they like picked it up, looked at the screen as they were walking back to their desk. They quickly stopped, turned back around, put the calculator back, and picked up a different one. That happened with like two other students. It was very funny. Yeah, I love that you can just write full messages. Although the charming bit of like turning the calculator upside down after writing like boobs or something, you kind of lost that because you can just write boobs in full letters. Uh, looks like James is still dead. If editor Arman was listening, I put in a little crab meme where it says James is dead. And there's James dead fully. Well, we'll see if his power comes back. Or internet or whatever happened. For now, though, I'll tell you guys a funny story. Uh, let's think of a very funny story. It probably has to do with school. Oh, okay. There was this one, wonderful, basically at the start of 6th grade. I had three very close friends that I was close with already going to 6th grade, and we all sat at that table on our first day of 6th grade, like a group of 5. And this one other person came down and sat with us, and they were like, "Oh hey, I'm so and so." We're gonna call them like we'll call them Toby for this story. And so Toby came and sat with us, and then we like became friends with Toby, and our group was like becoming friends. But over time, like Toby became like increasingly more comfortable with us, which was usually fine. Except Toby's like show of comfort was like in violence. And so whenever like one of us would say something that was like a little bit like annoying or like haha this is funny, like making a bad pun or something, they would threaten to stab us with their pencil, until one day they finally actually stabbed my friend. We'll call him Ben. They stabbed Ben in the neck. Ben is fine. Like he was fine. It was a very dull like end of a mechanical pencil, but it definitely hurt him. Like he was in pain for quite a period of time. And that was the end of our friendship with Toby. Toby did not go on to be like a sociopath or anything. They're actually like a very cool human being. But yeah, that was how me and my friends met Toby. James, welcome back, maybe. James, nope. Welcome back, maybe, James? No, maybe? Maybe not? Maybe it's RTC connecting. Nope, he's gone. He's back. I bet he can hear me. He's gone again. He's back again. This is crazy. This is a lot of counting. Uh, James, I was just telling a story. I don't know if you can hear me, but you should just stay and wait for it to RTC connect if that's what you're waiting for. I guess he was not doing that. What's another fun stationary story? You know, I used to actually like. Well, I want to talk about this with James. Never mind. I would like to talk about this with James, but well, what's another fun stationary thing? Did you guys ever have like those people who, not people, those teachers who made you get like a certain type of binder for their class, especially in like sixth grade? I remember because in sixth grade, instead of having one teacher for every class, we had a teacher that taught both science and math, and a teacher that taught both history and English. And so for those classes, they'd be like, get this binder with like this many dividers, and each of the dividers is going to say this, and I'm going to check on this every 2 weeks or so. Or like just like those teachers in general who like made you get the this not stationery but like the binders, the notebooks, and set it up a certain way, and you got like graded on how organized it was. I luckily like never had anyone who like graded us. Well, no, I had one teacher who graded us on that, but I thought it was like not that bad. We just had to get a notebook, and then we had to every single time we got an assignment, it was like a certain number uh in our notebook, like a certain page number, I guess, and then you would just like glue it in on that page number, or like staple it in, preferably glue it in. Staples got really difficult to deal with over time, but yeah, you would glue it in, and then they would check like to make sure that you have all your documents in order, and if you were missing a document, like you had to like reprint it and do the assignment again and then put it in to the page that was missing it. But yeah, but basically the way it worked was that as you read through your own notebook, it was like reading through a history textbook, which I really liked. That was cool. But I heard about a lot of people who had like English classes where they would like check on your welcome back, James. They would check on your writing and stuff to see that okay, I did this and this in order, and you would get like fully like
Hello?
marked down a whole grade. Hi, James. I'm just telling a story while you were gone. Hello,
Uh-oh.
James. Hello. Can you
Hello?
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Why did you just not respond to me for like 40 seconds there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. James, if you can hear me, please say Gatorade right now. He definitely can't hear me.
This is very not good.
This is all going in the video. This is all going in the podcast. This is so funny. I I bet he's typing me a little message right now. What's another? But yeah, I actually really liked that teacher. That teacher was very. This is taking a whole new subject. We're just talking about this teacher now, but I really liked that teacher. He was wonderful. Shoutouts to Mr. Elding. I loved him so much. He was absolutely like. I had him twice actually. I had him once my freshman year, and then I had him another time my junior year for U.S. history, and I had him for world history in freshman year. And that he was just awesome. I mean, he like genuinely like cared about students, and he was like really funny as well. Uh, and like he did. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with my voice?
Oh?
He did. Oh, can you hear me again?
Yes, I can hear you now.
If you hear me, say Gatorade.
Now I can't.
Okay, that's cool.
Gatorade.
Oh, wait, maybe you just have a big delay.
We're kind of going in and out right now.
Gotcha. Well, I was just telling everyone about my favorite teacher. Not one, my favorite. Well, maybe my favorite teacher, Mr. Elving,
Hmm.
and how he. Did you ever
Well,
have like a class where you had to like have your notebook like organized in a certain way and you were graded on it?
we're going in and out. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay. Did you ever did you ever have like a class where you had to organize your notebook a certain way and you were graded on it? This is great. I don't know how much James could hear of what I'm saying right now. This
No,
is so funny.
so I actually never received my diploma for middle school. I actually faked my way through it. Um, Somebody to write a graduated in middle school actually, and I'm planning to do the same with high school, just on a bigger scale.
That's good, James. I'm really happy for you. Uh, I guess James is kind of here. I can start talking about it. But actually, James, I used to repair stationery. Like you remember how you used to help do people's homework and stuff for money? I used to repair people's like broken pencils and pens, for like $1 each. Um, that was like a thing that I did. It was really fun. And I was actually like really good at it for like a this was in elementary school up until through middle school. Like I would just repair people's like pencils. Um, it was really I don't know. I for some reason I just like was good at it. But yeah, I would repair people's things and they would like come to me and just like during a lunch period I would like hold on to their pencils and like repair like whatever needed to be fixed and like try and clean things off and stuff. Yeah, it was that was like my little business that I had in elementary and middle school. Um, I remember very specifically like in middle school, like I wasn't doing it as much until in 7th grade. At some point, somebody was like, "Ah, I can never get this darn pencil to work," and I was like, "Let me try." And they were like, "Nah, it's always broken. Like I'm just gonna throw it away." I was like, "Well, let me try." They're like, "No, I'm just gonna throw it away." Well, it's like if you're gonna throw it away, can I have it? And they're like, "Fine, whatever." And then I got it, repaired it, and then gave it back to them, and they were like, "It's not gonna work in like 3 minutes." And then they were like, "Holy shit, you actually fixed it." And I got to make a clout from that, and all of a sudden I was like a repairing whiz at for pencils and pens. Um, James has messaged me something on Discord. He said, uh, "I cannot hear you. If you have to go, maybe record outro later." Anyway, guys, do you want to see do you want to see me and James play Hollow Knight? Do you want to see him laugh at me play Hollow Knight? Cause I want to play Hollow Knight with James and record it. I don't know if you guys would want to see that or not. But yeah, just like, let me know. If you guys want to see that, you should put it in the comment section below. Um, I'm going to record an outro in case James doesn't actually want to record an outro tonight. Alright guys, that was today's episode. Shout out to our sponsor, Uno, the card game. Yep, that's the one. They sponsored us today. Uno Reverse. Let me read the back of, or not the back. Let me read our let me just give you guys a sponsor message. So, James and I, we play Uno all the time, and we actually play Uno with customizable wild cards because it actually has it has these 4 extra cards, and they are game changers. So you have 3 customizable cards that let you write any house rule you want, and the customizable cards you can erase them to make new rules. And there's a swap hands card. You can swap hands with any opponent. There's 112 cards. There's instructions, colors, and decorations. They might vary from pack to pack. But we love Uno. We love specifically Uno with customizable wild cards. So if you haven't picked up a copy of Uno, well then Uno Reverse on you. But that was today's episode number 39. Thank you guys for watching and listening and subscribing to the channel. If you don't subscribe, what are you doing? Just subscribe. Give us a little subscribe. Why not? It'd be funny if you subscribed for a little bit. Maybe just for a little bit. Maybe for like an hour you could subscribe, then forget about it, and then you'll always be subscribed forever. I've knocked over something on my desk, so I'm gonna go now. But this is the Absolute Idiots signing off. Ba-da-ba-ba.
The Absolute Idiot Podcast.
3, 2, 1.
Wait. Oh, before we start, I think it would be funniest if we just pretend like we've not had any kind of break whatsoever. This is like.
Oh,
the next
I wasn't
week.
going to act like we had a break. I wasn't gonna be
Okay,
like, we're
awesome.
back from a break.
Just-
we're just gonna hop into it.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure.
Good. I'm glad we're on the same page. Yeah, fuck everyone who thinks that we were taking a break. There was no break. We were non-stop steamrolling content.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
should this be like episode how many episodes would we have gotten to by now?
Wait. Let's find out. Let me.
Oh my god, we're horrible.
We're on-
beings.
Episode 17. Episode 17. Oh wait. Oh yeah. We're on 17.
This would be episode 17.
Yeah.
No, what if
The
we
thumbnail for episode 16 still says episode 15. That's really funny.
No, I'm saying like let's pretend that we did put out a podcast. What would today's be if there was a podcast every week up until today?
Oh.
And then we just say that number. And
Wait. Okay. You want me to calculate this?
how long? How many weeks has it been? We just need to know the number of weeks.
36, 37, 38, 39. This would be 39.
This will be episode 39.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We're just gonna hop in. I'll be like, it is episode 39.
Awesome.
Steamrolling content. Okay. Also, I was recording all of that. I have to cut all that. That's fine.
Oh. Awesome.
All right. I'm gonna drink more water. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to episode 39. That's not how we start.
The Absolute Idiot Podcast.